Hey everybody, Everyman Prepping here. And in this video we're going to talk about the new movie that just came out on Netflix, a Netflix production called Leave the World Behind. It stars Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke. They're a normie couple living in the city, and they go take a vacation in the country on Long Island, and then stuff happens. An end of the world type event happens. It has a prepper in there played by Kevin Bacon, which is a great small role but still very pivotal, and some other key players. And I think this is a must-see for all preppers. And I'm going to give you a reason why in a minute. That's going to be the first half of this video, the first part of this video. And then we'll have a slight pause and let everybody that hasn't seen it want to pause the video and then go watch it. Because the second half, I'm going to talk about the movie, what I thought about it. And of course, there'll be spoilers in there and all that. So if you don't want to get that ruined, then just stop at the first half and go watch it and then come back to the second half. Also, in the comments below, I'm going to ask people to put their comments about what they thought about the movie, what they learned, what they liked, what they didn't like. Did it spark anything for them? So I don't recommend reading the comments if you don't want spoilers, because there's most likely going to be spoilers in the comments section. So now, why is this a good movie for preppers to watch? I know some end-of-the-world movies have a lot of high tech and special effects and explosions and this and that, aliens, whatever. This isn't like this. This is more down to earth. It's an intense movie. It's thought-provoking. It's suspenseful, but it makes you think about situation. It gives a great point of view from how the normies react, how people that don't prep, what do they think is going on. I think it's a great, Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke, they play great roles for the common family, two kids going on vacation that have never prepped in their life, kind of know a little bit about it, but really, haven't thought much about it. And then by watching this, what it does for me, what I like doing is, you can go out and train all you want. You go to the rifle range and shoot. You train your medical. You train your food preps. You get physically in shape. But one most important thing for surviving a situation and prepping is mental preparedness. I try to stress that on this channel. You got to be mentally prepared. You got to think situations through, and you got to know how you would react, or at least pretend how you react, or play how you act. Role play. This is a good role play movie. What would I do in that role? Game theory. If that situation occurred, what would I do? Do I have the stuff to do that? Do I need to change my preps? This is a great movie for that. You can't, of course, go out and really train. What if a country invades? What if there's an EMP? You can buy the stuff and get ready for it, know how to use it, but you can't really train and make it actually happen. You can shut your power off in your house, see if the family reacts, that kind of stuff. But the rest of it is just mental game theory, role playing in your head. What would I do? Do I have the stuff? Am I going to need to do something? That's what this movie is great for. So I recommend it for that. It gives you, like I said, a great perspective of how a normal family react, how the prepper gets involved, some of the decisions between the two, how the third party interacts, all that. Like I said, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's a really good, intense, thought-provoking movie that will make you think about your preps, your survival. What have you done? Have you thought about all the situations and everything going forward? So that's the first part of this video. I don't want to go any more into what I thought without running it. If you want to see it, if you don't have Netflix, go find a friend or someone, a family member, go watch it with them. Might be good to watch it together with them. You guys can talk about it as it goes on. But take this time now, this little pause, to pause this video, go do it, and then come back. We're here at about, the 3 or 4 minute mark around there, and then come back. So we'll get that little pause now. Everybody take off if you don't want to see it. Those of you that have seen it, or those of you that just want my thoughts on it, go and stick around here in a couple seconds. We'll get into it. Okay, that should be it, right? Everybody's left or stayed. Now, like I said, Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, they play a normal family. They got a son and a daughter. She's mad at the world. She goes through and she basically says, I hate everybody. And they want to get away, so they rent a Airbnb or something, rent a house on, I think, Long Island in the country, and they're going out for a few days when they go out there. And try to enjoy themselves as they go out. And they really don't prepare anything when they go out. They just go out there to have fun. She's going to the grocery store when they arrive. And then, as soon as they arrive, I got a list here of things I want to talk about. I'm not going to go through and explain the movie, but just things I pointed out as they happened. Well, they're not in chronological order. This is just off the top of my head, write notes down, some things I thought were very provoking and made me think about the movie. In the comments below, write your response to things I put out, what you thought about the movie, good decisions, bad decisions, prepping, all that stuff. Like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. It's not flashy. Is it the best acting? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not the greatest. It's not winning a Grammy, but I just thought it was great all around. At least that's my opinion. So the first thing I noticed is they rent this Airbnb, and they don't bring anything. They have no self-defense tools. They have no way to lock it up. When the owner comes with his daughter, and it's a big stressful time. He says, "I want to stay in my house because of what's going on." Whenever I've rented a place, even a hotel, whatever, I bring stuff to lock the doors myself. Whether it's something to brace the door all around that, or some other thing. I lock the door myself. Even at Airbnb, you want to bring door braces or find ways so the owner or management company who has the keys still can't get in without basically breaking in and causing noise. That's what I do, and that's what I would suggest, because obviously they didn't do this. So that's the first thing. Second, you got the boat incident. On the beach, the boat runs aground, a giant oil tanker runs aground, and they really don't react much. They're leaving the beach. They ask the guy, the police officer, what happened, and then he tells them, this is happening all up and down the seaboard. It's happened all over. And that doesn't clue them into there's a major event going on. Yeah, their cell phones aren't working. They have no reception. They kind of blow it off as like a nothing burger. I think for the preppers out there, you got no cell service. You can't get hold of anything. And a giant boat just crashes into the beach. And then someone tells you it's happening all up and down the seaboard. Well, I think at that time you're thinking, this is it. Something big's happening. We need to start our standard operating procedure for our SOP, for survival. Obviously, they didn't have one of those. Highly recommend that. I will put up the link here to what I started an SOP for survival, and you can look at those videos. I'll put the playlist up there. You can check them out. But they basically just went back to the house and said, let's try to figure out what's going on. So no reaction, no nothing. Basically, if you think something's going on, something like that happens, you need to look into it. You need to find a way. So what came out of that is the fact that they go back, there's no TV, no internet, no nothing. They have no other means for communication. They didn't think about their combo plan. They don't have a ham radio. You need to always carry one with you, or an AM, FM radio, shortwave, something. Get some news out there from somebody, some source. They had no way of doing that. We talked about they had no weapon with them. And then what do I have on here? Okay, off and on throughout the movie after this event happens, whether it was attack, they find it was a cyber attack. It took down the grid and other things happened. It messed with the satellites, all that, that's going on. But there's glimpses of that they think they need to do something. They talk about, Julia Roberts' character talks about, we need food, we need water, we need supplies. And then it's blown off. She was looked at like a crazy person. Like, why do we need that? It's all going to be fine. And that's the general theme also in this movie. The normies are always, it's going to be fine. Everything will be great. Don't worry, this will pass over. Even when they finally decide to bug out, the Julia Roberts family and Ethan Hawke, and they are trying to drive back into the city, go back to, Jersey, because she's saying, it'll be fine in Jersey. The phones will work. It'll be great. And they get to there where they're all blocked by the Teslas, because all the Teslas have been hacked, and whoever did this is driving all the Teslas to clog the roads so no one can go anywhere. But the whole thought through this is everything's going to be fine. It'll be fine. They tell the kids everything will be fine. That's another point I'll get to here. They really shelter their kids. They don't tell them what they think's going on. They really hide how bad it could be. I'm kind of the opposite with my family, my children. I tell them, I'm upfront with them. I would tell them what's going on, what I think's going to happen. They know not, that way they're not scared, but they know what we need to do to get ready and what their role is in that. I think if you hide it from the children, they kind of freak out, kind of like the kids in the movie. They're freaking out when they finally figure out, holy crap, Shtf is here, and they don't know what to do. So they keep the children in the dark. I don't recommend that. Everybody does what they feel is right for their family, but I don't think that's a good way to go. Oh, now the other part during the movie, like I said, they start thinking about it. Ethan Hawke's character finally starts filling a tub up with water. And one of the other characters is, the daughter of the owner of the house. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm filling it with water. It's what you're supposed to do in an emergency. And she kind of treats him like he's a crazy person too. That's the thing also. These preppers are a little crazy in this movie. Why do you want to do that? That's a good thing. That's what you hear in life. But then he kind of stops and yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we don't need this water. So there's glimpses of them trying, but then they're laughed at and they're ridiculed basically. What else do we have? We talked about they had no bug out plan. Oh, so there's loud noise. There's this loud piercing noise, that you saw that, it cracks the windows, it hurts their ears, you can't move, it's incapacitating. There's mention that it's like the same thing that happened down in Cuba when those people were microwaved in their brain in the Cuban embassy and all that. What I noticed from this is they didn't think about ear protection or, how to, what's happened the first time, thought it might happen again. Something happens once, it's going to happen again. If there's one EMP, don't get all your stuff out of the EMP protection Faraday cage just because there might be a second one coming right away. So that's a good thing to think about. Once it first happened, maybe they should have looked for, hey, is there earplugs in this house? Is there something we can do for ear protection before it happens again? I'm one of those people that I carry those little orange foam earplugs. I got them in the vehicles. I got them in my bug out bag. I got them in my backpack. All that stuff. So just something to carry that's set for everybody. If you need them for an instance, you have them. If you would have had them in this case, they could have used them, warned them when that happened, been much better off. Another part of the movie that's found, this is the kind of weird part, was the deer. There's, deers, and they're, something's messed up the migration of the animals. I don't know how that happens with hacking and what's going on, but the birds are going crazy. Flamingos from Florida are landing in Rhode Island, all kinds of weird stuff. But the deer, hundreds of them are congregating around the family. And they're kind of weirded out by it, and they're acting strange. The only thought that came through my mind as a prepper is, wow, that's a lot of food. I'm taking some of those deer, and we're skinning them in that hut, and we're hanging them, we're gutting them, we're packaging them, we're going to smoke them, we're going to do whatever, because we're going to need food because, well, something bad has happened. That's the first thing that came through my mind. I don't know what your mind is. Like I said in the comments, write everything you thought of this movie and what it made you think. Like I said, this is a great movie for oh yeah, I could use it for that. Oh, I need to get some of this. I need better weapons. I need air protection. I need communication. I need food. If some people came to my houses, the questions I would ask them. They came to my Airbnb. How am I going to prove that that's the owner? All these things, stuff to ask about. What else we have here? Okay, let's get to, one of the Ethan Hawke goes into town, and there's a drone dropping leaflets, and it's in Arabic. And the kid recognizes because he plays Call of Duty or something, and he says "Death to America." Comes out later in the movie that the prepper Kevin Bacon character said that his buddy, out on the West Coast, had ones that were written in Korean, he says, or Chinese. He didn't know. And then he goes into, maybe this is we made a lot of enemies. The United States has a lot of enemies. Maybe we're getting attacked on the east by the Arabs and on the West Coast by the Chinese or Koreans. Very possible. Could very much happen these days. That's why I like this movie so much. It makes you think about what's going on. So I found that very interesting. And that leads into, let's talk about the Prepper Standoff, basically. The son gets bit by a tick or some other weird thing and then gets sick. His teeth start falling out. I don't think that's a symptom of Lyme disease. Maybe it's a biological attack, biological weapon released also, but the kid's teeth are falling out. A crazy part of the movie. Of course, the normie family didn't have any medication. The guy who lives in the house doesn't have any extra. They want some antibiotics. So what do? They have to go to the prepper. So this makes you think, do I have enough antibiotics? Hey, if I did get Lyme disease because I'm in an area with ticks, do I have acetaminophen? Do I have amoxicillin or Cipro or whatever is good for Lyme disease? Look it up. Not a doctor. But, so they go, hey, this prepper, he's my contractor. He's got tons of stuff. Let's go see him. That's going to happen to you. So this is a good situation to think about. People that know you're preppers are going to come see you when something happens because they know you have stuff. So they go see him for medication. And then there's a standoff. And that's, you saw in the thumbnail that they're having. Kevin Bacon has a shotgun. Tells him, hey, get off your porch. Get by your car. And he's doing good for a prepper. He's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. He holds him at gunpoint. And they're begging, they're begging for medicine. And he's like, no. I need for my family. I prepared. You didn't. Get out. And the other gentleman draws his gun. So we got a handgun versus a shotgun. There's a standoff. And they're staring. And this, what would you do? Do you do what he did and tell him to leave and hold to it, or do you do what he did and finally give in because the Ethan Hawke character, he's the normal guy, and he even admits it. This is what he says. He said, "I am a useless man." That's one of the greatest quotes in this movie. I am a useless man. Don't be a useless man. He knows he didn't prepare. He says, I can't do anything without my phone and his GPS. He knows he's useless. So don't be that person, that's for sure. And he's begging. He says, so all I can do is beg. And you're going to get a lot of beggars coming to your door. And what does Kevin Bacon do? Well, he gives in. He gives the medicine for $1,000. And then he mentions, this is how they're poking fun at preppers again. Because they have the Kevin Bacon, the prepper character say, well, I guess we ended up going to a barter system. And Ethan Hawke goes, well, it's not really barter if I give you money. All preppers know you don't barter with money. You barter for stuff. It's just a poke at preppers again. You're going to see that a couple times. It's kind of irritating, but it just makes, it's thought provoking also. Basically, he trades money for medicine. They give the kid medicine. We don't know if the kid does better or not. They just give him these giant blue pills. Who knows what it is? But, as a prepper, when people come to your house, what are you going to do? You're going to tell them to get off your property? You're going to get in? You're going to barter? You're going to shoot them? I thought Kevin Bacon was going to shoot that guy straight out. Yeah, that might be what I do. I don't know what you do. You don't know what you'll do, but like I said, game theory, role play, run through your mind. What will you do? At what instance will you barter? What instance would you fire upon him? What instance... this is all, by the way, when I say fire upon, this is all game theory thought. Don't go out and shoot anybody. YouTube, don't throw me off. We're just thinking here, game role playing, thinking things out here, brainstorming right now. And then what else do we have here? We have, there's that one child that also thinks about his friends because she's so she just wants to watch the end of Friends and see the last episode. And that's all she thinks about is because her parents haven't even brought it into the real world. She lives in a digital world, so get your kids off screens and digital, and take them outside, camp, fish, show them how to shoot, defend themselves, repair things, all that stuff. And what else do we have here? The very end. Not the very end of the standoff, but they talk about, he tells them where to go for a bunker. He said, hey, you should go to, I can't remember the guy's name, we'll call Fred. Go to Fred's house. He had a contractor, built something without permits. I know he's got a survival bunker in there. It's got to be a survival bunker. Why don't you go there? It's probably got tons of stuff. Well, if you're a prepper, if you're Kevin Bacon, you're a prepper, why are you telling someone else about a stash of stuff? Wouldn't you want to go gather that for yourself? Wouldn't you want maybe go there and do it yourself? If you know it's a bunker full of stuff, I don't know why you're giving that up. Because because after he tells them this, they get in the car, and the gentleman, talks to Ethan Hawke's character, and they say, are you with me? Are you with me? We got to go get that stuff. There's probably weapons and food and everything. So they're going to take all that stuff. You just gave away a store of food. I thought that was a dumb move. What they say, loose lips, sink ships, all that stuff. Be the gray man, all that. Well, the prepper guy kind of violated all that. So something else to learn in all this. And so that's the basic lessons I have from what I saw in this movie. I don't want to go on too long here. Please, in the comments below, write what you got out of this movie. Did you think it was good or bad? Am I off or am I right on here? What do you think? Like I said, I'm going to recommend everybody in my family to watch it. I'm just going to, if they're not preppers, all that, I'm just going to tell them, hey, it's a great movie, thought-provoking. I want you watch it. It might, spur them on to maybe think about prepping and what can happen. Because they talk about, the Chinese, the Koreans, the, hackings, messing up with the satellites above, crashing the grid. And then there's a finally scene where there is looks like tactical nukes going off in New York. So everything in this movie, it was great. Let me know what you think down below. And until next time, keep your ear to the ground and head on a swivel.